Hello, Brad. I just wanted to make another follow up video about the Oxford Retirement Education website. We had a Zoom call recently where I kind of went through everything, and I believe Katie may have forwarded you an email where I made an initial video kind of showing how things worked. Um, During the Zoom call, I noticed you had mentioned having multiple events of the same type. You said one point understanding Social Security, you may have six of them in the course of 1 month. Well, I've made some revisions to the site to be able to accommodate that because before that Zoom call, I had it set up so when you clicked on either understanding Social Security or taxes and retirement or estate planning, it just took you right to the event page and would just show you the most recent event. But in order to accommodate for that, now when you click on it, you'll get this pop-up, say select an understanding Social Security event below, and it will give you a list of events. It'll give you the title of the event, the date, and the time, the start time, end time. And then you can click on a button, learn more, and then it takes you to that event page where it populates with that same title, the same date and time and everything right here. And then obviously we don't see the at location because that one was set to online. So if I click this, I can go back. And then we can see the same thing with select taxes and retirement event below. We get the title, the date, the time. We can click learn more. And then we get the same thing here. This is for the tax page. We get that one with the Claremont City Center name on it, which was the name of the location. You can click on it, get the Google Maps so somebody can find the location and navigate to it more easily. And then same thing with the estate planning. All the same stuff, just the accommodating verbiage for the estate planning. And then for these ones, and this will just kind of show you what will happen. Let's say if you don't have any events going on for a certain type, if I click on this one here, you'll see there's a message that says there are no events of this type currently scheduled. Please check back again soon. Same thing here, since we don't have any events yet for these two types, hence why we named them coming soon. So that's one big thing I changed to accommodate having multiple events of the same topic. So we'll just go into I'll just take you into the WordPress dashboard here. And as I showed a bit in the first video, this is where you create your events and everything. So we got the one for the taxes and retirement, understanding Social Security, and estate planning. Now you notice when I went here, when I was saying there was a list, how you're only seeing one of each. Well, the reason you're only seeing one of each is because we only have these three so far. So what I'm going to do is create another one just to kind of show you how it will auto-populate a list. So let's just do one for, say, Social Security here. I'll just name it test so we know it's for test purposes. And let's set that for January 2024 on the 4th. And start time 1 p.m., 3 p.m. Eastern. And just to speed this up, I'm just going to say on location. And then one thing you want to do that's really important down here, you want to give it a category so it's able to sift and sort based on what you select here. So I'm going to hit publish. So now it's published. So now we can click here to go back to see our list of events. So now we have this one that says test. And then you also have these event dates here. One thing I had a little trouble with was being able to get them to auto sort based on the event dates. So one thing you can do is right here, you can click and drag, and you can adjust the order accordingly based on the event dates because these will be listed based on how they're ordered on here. So if everything works properly, we should see now when we click on this, we're only seeing the one because I haven't refreshed yet. We should see the test, Social Security, and then the second one for Education Seminar Florida, because this one comes first, this one comes second. So I'm going to refresh. And there we go. So now we're seeing the two because now we have two for Social Security. And so if I click on the learn more, we get the test Social Security. And then, of course, the January 4th, the 1 to 3 o'clock, these were just times I made up. And then of course, if we wanted to edit that, make it on location, just to kind of show again, location, just say, just making stuff up here, update, because we'll say this one's physically on location. So now if I go back, this, so now we should see join us at the test location. And then normally you could go to Google Maps and make it work, but of course this is the fake address. So yeah, those are pretty much, you know, similar features to what I showed in the first one. Here's another one. I'll just show you that feature again for location. You saw this one's a real address. It's not a fake one like I made in that other one. And then it loads accordingly because this, which one was that? Was it taxes and retirement? Yeah. That Claremont City Center and the address all corresponds to what we're seeing in Google Maps. So it just makes it easier for somebody to find their way to the event. So, I mean, that's pretty much it in a nutshell as far as adding these in here. If you want to get the individual URLs for the event, there's a couple ways you can do that. I added this. You can just select it right here, copy, and then paste it in. And then you get your test, you know, Social Security pertaining to that specific event with it all dynamically filled out. Or you can also, right here, this is kind of typically how you do it in WordPress. You can just open the link, or you can copy link address. So if you want to send someone a URL to be able to go to a specific page for a specific event and time, you can get the URL that way. Now, for these templates right here, where they're located, we have originally had them as pages, but because the way WordPress is working here, I had to move them to a different spot. So you have your main home one. So if you ever need to edit verbiage, any of the verbiage on the home, you can do it right here. You can select and then just, sorry, it likes to auto scroll. You can just click right here and then adjust whatever you need. So that's where you can edit verbiage on the home page. Now, as far as for these events, you actually will go here. You can hover over templates and then go to saved templates. And then you can hit the all right here just to see all the different kinds. And then there's one that's called single post. And then from there, you can edit each of the posts here. So I'll just do edit one of them. And then you can adjust your verbiage accordingly right here. Now you are seeing this error, invalid or no slug URL. If you're editing, don't worry about that. The reason that's happening is because we're editing the template directly, but it has no current reference to a specific event. So that's why we're seeing that, because there's no URL slug. Because usually it has a particular URL for that event. So online educational course, taxes and retirement. So if we go back here, each post gets a unique slug name. So that's how it's able to identify. But because we're writing this directly, that's why you're kind of seeing that right now. So only happens in the editor, so nothing to worry about. That's why that's happening. But yeah, you can edit the verbiage here. Now, obviously, you know, stuff right here where you're seeing the error, invalid or no URL slug, that's where stuff gets dynamically imported with what WordPress calls shortcodes. So anywhere where you're seeing error, invalid or no URL slug, that's where content is being dynamically inserted. And again, it works fine when a user goes to the page by entering a specific one. This stuff, you know, will only happen, you know, when one of us is editing in the WordPress dashboard. So it just gives us a point of reference as far as where the dynamic tags are. So yeah, so I'll just show you again. how to get to those, save templates, all, and then single post right here. So, there's all kinds of stuff you can do with this. You talked a bit about being able to integrate, your analytics. I'll show you again. I believe I showed you that in the Zoom call video. Right here, you can do Elementor and do custom code. And then you can add new, and you can embed your codes in here. You can just say, usually it's at the start of the body when you get an embed code for analytics, and then you can say publish, and then you can include that on the entire site, or if you want one particular, type of event, you can category, you can say Social Security. So let's say if you have a particular analytics code that you want for all events that are for Social Security, or let's say a state, you can do it this way. So that's how you can embed those. Now, as far as stuff with APIs, I'm not going to save that because that was just to show you real fast. As far as API integration, that can definitely be done. In fact, these URL codes, just to kind of show you, maybe this is a little technical for you. I actually wrote some custom code on the back end. So you see this get event data. I actually wrote some custom code here that will, if you see the get event data, and then you can pass information through and, basically just getting them from these event posts. Now, because that, is custom code that I wrote, we could have this stuff connect, say, to information from an API or whatever. It is possible that depending on what platform you're using to handle your events, it could just tie in and you could just do it there and bypass having to do it in the dashboard, and it could just auto sync right here. That is a possibility, just again, depending on what you want to use. So yeah, I just wanted to show you those options. And then also show you one more thing. For each of these events, let's say you want to submit, sorry about that. Let's say we have a certain embed thing for submitting a form. Each of these event pages, when we load it, we can sort of get the information right here, and we can use this to send to an API. So let's say you had a form that popped up right here. This is just an old embed code that you had, that you provided for now. We could set up a form where they put in their name, their phone number, and an email address. And then when they submit, we can submit not only that information, but also this information right here pertaining to what specific event they're registering for. So that is another possibility as well, again, depending on whatever you want to do. And then for these pop-ups right here, where you see this register now, right now it's just going to an old embed code. Obviously we can change that to whatever we want to do, like for instance, a form. But right here, if you go to templates, pop-ups, right here, this is where you can find those pop-ups that are coming up. And I have one for each type. So then you could just, embed it. If, let's say, you have embed codes for each one and they'll sort of just auto sync or whatever, you can do it that way. We could slim this down even more, where if we did it where we're sending to an API, we could just get it down to one particular pop-up and just have that information that you saw before just dynamically get sent to the API pertaining to what event they clicked on. And right here also, it's a little technical, but where you saw the, let me show you that, where you saw this list come up for whatever one. This one's just one pop-up, but I did some programming so it monitors what button they clicked on, and it only displays the one pertaining to that. But there's a pop-up right here. In fact, so right here, this is kind of where everything is. for each individual one. So when you click on it, those buttons on the home page and one comes up, it will only make visible the one that it pertains to. So I kind of have them all in here. It's just a way to kind of consolidate it down, but obviously we want to keep that hidden and let the program just show which one it is that they clicked on. So I'll change that back. And then of course we still have that test one in here. I'll just get rid of that for now. And there we go. So now we just got back to the just 3 events, 1 of each category. And then of course, if there's no events of a particular category listed, then you'll just get this message. And this verbiage can be changed as well. Those are in that pop-up template that I showed you just a minute ago. So, I mean, that's pretty much it. You know, if you want to send me some information on, you know, your codes for your analytics or anything with API related, if you want to just email that to me and we can, you know, adjust it as necessary to make it work with whatever you want it to work with. This is just a good starting point just to be able to accommodate, you know, a large number of events and just make it more scalable so we don't have, you know, too many pages or we're having to make a page for each type. You know, it can just be dynamically inserted and just keep things better organized. So yeah, that's pretty much all. That pretty much covers it in a nutshell. And feel free to reach out if you have any more questions or concerns. And yeah, just whenever you have time to send me information about the API and your analytics code and anything else you want to integrate in, be happy to take a look at it.